You know, every restaurant is a buffet if you're willing to pay, especially here in Las Vegas, the all-you-can-eat capital of the world. Hello friends, it's me, Shin, and I'm on a quest to vlog every restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip as well as downtown on Fremont Street. I'm 161 in, and this week for numbers 162 through 167, I'm here at the Casino Royale where I'm going to be showing you every eatery inside the entire resort. Really happy to have you along, let's do this. All right, everyone, now I'm going to start the tour of the Casino Royale's eateries here at the White Castle Burger. White Castle is an American fast food chain that was started in the 1920s, if I remember correctly. And while it primarily stayed on the East Coast, it became super famous after the movie Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. And now you're starting to see White Castles kind of pop up all over the States. Now, the last time I tried White Castle was actually right here at the Casino Royale along with Norma Jelly. When Whataburger opened, we did a video here together. That was my first collaboration with her on her channel. However, it has been a while since then. I haven't had White Castle since. Now, White Castle serves sliders as opposed to full-on burgers, and you can get a standard White Castle combo for $9.99, or you can add cheese to those burgers for $1 more. And I went in on the cheeseburger combo today. 4 cheeseburger sliders along with fries as well as a drink. And I am actually quite hungry for lunch, so let's jump right on in. Now, obviously, the first thing we have to try is going to be the slider. Now, as mentioned, you do get 4 sliders per combo, and I've got the cheese version here. Let's give it a taste. And you know, I'd say those are just okay. I'll start the discussion with the burger buns. They're very soft. I believe they're untoasted in the slightest, so you have a very spongy bread here. There's a slightly buttery flavor to that slider bun though, so that is nice. Now, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of these beef patties. One, they're incredibly thin, so it doesn't actually lead to much of a satisfying bite. I do know they serve double sliders here. That might be the play to go for. I think the single aspect that I dislike the most about the burgers at White Castle is the fact that the burgers themselves have never touched the grill. They're cooked on top of the onions, so they're effectively steamed. But what you're missing out on is that mired reaction, a bit of a crust forming on that beef to deliver a lot more of that extra flavor. The burger patty was well seasoned, although I would say the actual flavors are relatively muted. You get a slightly beefy flavor toward the end of the bite. The cheese does provide a little bit of a salty hit. You do get a bit of crunch from that pickle as well as a slightly sour tang. The best part about these sliders are the caramelized onions. A little bit of a nutty sweetness in those comes as an accent flavor throughout the bite, and that is easily the most enjoyable part. White Castle ranks relatively low on my fast food burger scale, but for about $10 on the strip getting a burger combo, this isn't all that bad. Next up, French fries. If you watch the channel enough, you know my favorite form factor of French fry is the crinkle cut, so I do like that here. Let's see how they are today. And not bad. Now, unfortunately, I did not get a fresh batch of fries here. You can tell they were cooked a little bit ago, so unfortunately, timing-wise, that just led to a big detraction. Not a very crisp exterior, unfortunately, although the center of the potato is relatively pillowy. And unlike the last time I was here, the fries are actually seasoned today, which does give off a nice flavor. I think I would definitely like these more if they were fresh. An unfortunate timing on that one. All right, everyone, now that's going to do it here at White Castle, the first stop in the full tour of the Casino Royale's eateries. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up these sliders and the fries, and then we'll head over to their food court. All right, everyone, now I'm seated here at the Casino Royale's food court. Now, the Casino Royale food court is quite famous here on the Las Vegas Strip due to their $3.49 footlong hot dog. A lot of content creators have shown off this cheap eat, but I'll certainly be showing you a lot more than that today. You've got those footlong hot dogs along with a Subway as well as a Pizza Hut Express, and so I think I'm gonna go and start off with a little bit of pizza. Now, the Pizza Hut Express here serves 9-inch pies for about $10. They have bread bites and wings as sides, and effectively everything kind of comes in at that $10 range. I've got a pepperoni pizza here along with some wings, and I can always appreciate pizza. Let's do this. First off, pepperoni pizza. Obviously the most classic of all pizzas here in the States, and as mentioned, I can always appreciate pizza. Let's see how it is. You know, I'd say that's just okay. I'll admit it's been a while since I've had Pizza Hut, but this is very reminiscent of all the flavors. I'll start the discussion with the crust. Unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of it today. It's ever so slightly crispy on the outside, but it's not all that well developed in the center. It's a bit of a dry crust, if I was to be honest with you. I would also appreciate a little bit more of a bake on this crust. A bit more of a toast to the underbottom here would deliver some more flavor, as well as a more satisfying crisp. I'd say the sauce is not present. I can't really say that I taste too much of this tomato sauce, though looking closely I can notice a thin layer of it. The cheese is actually pretty nice. It's rich, it's melty, it's salty. No real issues with the cheese today. Now the pepperonis also leave a bit to be desired here. I'd say half the pepperonis on this pizza are kind of that dried out older pepperoni, and unfortunately they're devoid of flavor outside of just some salt. Thankfully, there are some other pepperonis on this pizza that were a little bit more moist and had a little bit more of that slightly spicy, salty flavor that you're hoping for from a pepperoni. It's just unfortunate not all of them are like that. One of the things I do remember about Pizza Hut pizza is that they are quite greasy, and I'd say that's the case here. My fingers are completely soaked in grease after eating that slice, so ultimately it does feel a bit heavy. All said though, I would say this is still a pretty passable pizza. Definitely just a bit of a mid-tier pizza right there. Next up, chicken wings. You get 6 chicken wings here to an order. You get a choice between ranch and buffalo sauce. I'll dip it into the buffalo sauce here. Let's give it a taste. Yeah, you know what, not bad. Now, all things considered, I do like the cook on these wings. The outside has a slightly dehydrated crisp to it, a nice bake there. But the chicken inside is actually quite moist and juicy. The chicken meat is soft and tender as well. That's actually nice to bite into. The chicken on its own has been seasoned well. A slightly smoky seasoning blend to this. I think I can make out some pretty familiar faces like salt, pepper, garlic, onion, and paprika. All in a nice ratio. These are some flavorful wings. The buffalo sauce they provide is a nice and spicy sauce. Definitely a bit of kick to this with some nice vinegary tang. That works just fine for the wing. I think my biggest issue with these wings is that you only get 6 per order. They're pretty dinky and small. You're not exactly getting a lot of meat there. I think they taste fine though. Not a bad hot wing. Alrighty, next up I'm going to go in on the other 2 eateries here in the food court, and that's of course Subway and the $3.49 hot dog. I've got a 6-inch Subway club here, as well as that foot-long hot dog with relish, ketchup, and mustard. Quite a hefty lunch today, but this is all for science. Let's do this. First up, that foot-long hot dog. So many content creators have put this hot dog on the map. At $3.49, this may be the best calorie for dollar ratio you're going to find on the strip. Only ketchup and mustard is included. For any other toppings, even relish, you have to pay more. But I suppose that's how they keep costs low. Let's give the hot dog a shot. Can't say I'm the biggest fan of this one. Now, this foot-long hot dog costs $3.50 for a reason. The first reason being that the bread is quite flavorless. A relatively soft hot dog bun, while it does have a decent texture, unfortunately it's completely devoid of any flavor. Just biting into it on its own, I legitimately cannot distinguish any taste. It really is just a vessel for the hot dog, but at least it's doing its job. The hot dog, unfortunately, is very lackluster. If I had to be 100% honest with you, I cannot tell you what animal this comes from. It tastes a bit like pork and maybe turkey mixed together, but there's a bit of a sour, off-putting taste to it. Unfortunately, it just doesn't taste all that great. Absolutely no snap to the casing. It's all rubbery throughout. Even texture-wise, the hot dog definitely leaves something to be desired. The ketchup, the mustard, and the relish are definitely the saving graces on my palate here. This hot dog is just not that good. As mentioned before though, this is probably the best bang for the buck when it comes to calories to dollars on the Las Vegas Strip. So if you're looking to save a few bucks, or you're not much of a foodie and you just need to make sure that you have the energy to dance all night, $3.49 for a hot dog isn't a bad deal. Alright everyone, for the last bite that I'm trying for this first part of the tour of all the eateries here at the Casino Royale, I'm going in on a Subway sandwich. I used to eat Subway all the time back when they had the $5 footlongs. Although here at the Casino Royale Subway, you're paying over $10 for just a 6-inch. Now I personally haven't been back to a Subway in a really long time, so I don't know what prices are like outside of the strip nowadays. Hopefully it'll at least taste good. Oh, you know what? That was pretty good. Now, the Subway Club has always been my go-to sandwich when I went to Subway. Roast beef, turkey, and ham along with your veggies and provolone cheese. It's a pretty good mix. The deli meats here at the Subway at the Casino Royale are actually quite fresh. I guess the biggest concern with any Subway is that they don't have enough turnaround to make sure that the ingredients stay fresh. But I will say that the Casino Royale Subway here seems pretty popular, and I can at least attest that the roast beef, the ham, and the turkey are all pretty good. Relatively soft and tender, not dried out, and you can actually taste the distinguishing features of each meat coming through. I am happy with the deli meats today. The produce here is actually quite fine also. My lettuce is unwilted, nice and fresh, and my spinach still has a nice vibrant green color. Some good bite coming from my raw onion, and the natural sweetness of the tomato I would say is a little bit muted, but not all that much. A little bit of mayonnaise provides richness, and I did ask for some salt and pepper, and they did season it well. All in all, this is actually a really nicely made club. A perfectly acceptable Subway sandwich right there. I'm enjoying that. Alright everyone, now that's all of the super fast casual eateries here at the Casino Royale. I'm going to take a few more bites, box this all up to go and take it home, and then when I return, we'll be going to their first sit-down restaurant. Don't go, I'll be right back. And And welcome back, my friends. It's time for some breakfast, and I'm here at Denny's. This particular Denny's is on the second floor on top of the Casino Royale, and the entrance is actually through the White Castle. A very open and bright dining room here, and you have an excellent view of what used to be the Mirage, what will become the Hard Rock Casino. Once they finish construction, there should be some really nice views here. All throughout my college days, I actually worked at Denny's. I was a host and server there, and so this is actually bringing back a lot of nostalgia, my old stomping grounds. Let's take a look at what they have to eat. So here is the menu at Denny's. Boy, I have not looked at one of these in a while, and certainly not one on the strip. So let's see here. We've got your Build Your Own Grand Slam. Looks like it starts at $14.69, picking 4 items, and then $1.69 each to add more. And then you have a couple of slams that add bananas. I guess this is the current seasonal menu, and then the lumberjack slam. I believe this is the largest breakfast you can get here at the restaurant, if things haven't changed since I've worked here. Fish platter, triple juicy burger, and they serve Coke products. We have various slams here. French toast slams, berry waffle slams, the all-American slam, and the lumberjack slam. And that original Grand Slam, $14.69. Man, back when I used to work at Denny's, we used to sell the original Grand Slam for about $5. Signature breakfast here, country fried steak, T-bone steak and eggs, classic Benny, all the good stuff. And then some pancake slams over here. Cinnamon roll pancakes. Okay, they've really upped their pancake game since the last time I've been to a Denny's. There's a lot of different pancake styles here. And some a la carte sides. You know, I haven't been to a Denny's in a hot minute, but these prices do seem pretty high for a Denny's. Here are your omelets, $16.50 for your ultimate omelet, $14 for the moons over my hammy omelet. Actually, you know, maybe it's not as much as I was thinking. Maybe just 20% more than I've seen in my other Denny's, but that's been a bit since I've been there. Taking a quick look, now we're getting into the lunch section. Classic sampler, $14. You know, I think I remember this being about 10, so I guess it's not actually all that much. Mozzarella cheese sticks, zesty nachos. Now this is my appetizer of choice typically. Love going in on these. They're actually very, very good. And then your soup of the day, all looking nice. Beef burgers here. Looks like a little bit under $20 for a burger. Oh, actually, okay, so they're closer to about $15, $16 for a burger there. You can add a milkshake or some seasoned fries. Moving along, we've got some additional comfy classics. Country fried steak dinners, sirloin steak dinners. Oh, they have lasagna at Denny's? That's new. Yeah, salmon, chicken. And you got your skillets here. Various skillets and your a la carte sides. Your melts and handhelds. Various sandwiches, Superbird, that's a classic. Pot roast melt, they all come in fries, and you can upgrade to seasoned fries. Some salads here. Looks like some donut holes for about, $7. And then your meals for seniors, if you're 55 plus, you do get these discounted entree options. And you have desserts here as well. Lava cookie skillet, New York cheesecake, all looking really good. And then of course your beverages, you've got your coffee. Again, they serve Coke products. Smoothies and milkshakes down here. And that's your menu here at Denny's. Sure has been a lot of changes at Denny's since I've been working here and since I've been back. I'm gonna go and get my order in, and for all of you at home, I'm gonna make my breakfast appear right now. All right, everyone, and here it is, my lumberjack slam. The lumberjack slam comes with bacon, sausage, as well as ham, 2 eggs your way, toast, pancakes, as well as hash browns. And I'm looking forward to a nice hearty breakfast today. Let's go in. We'll start things off with the breakfast sausage. Pretty standard breakfast sausage here, and I probably ate close to like 1,000 of these back when I worked at Denny's. Let's relive my memories. Yeah, that's fine. You have a very classic breakfast sausage here. Not too much snap to that casing, and texturally toward the center it is quite mushy, but that said, it does have a nice salty, savory flavor, just seasoned well in general. A classic breakfast sausage link here. Nice way to start the meal. Next up, the bacon. Not exactly the largest slice of bacon I remember seeing, but hopefully it tastes good. Bacon time. No, unfortunately, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of that one. Now, when it comes to my bacon, I prefer a bit of a crispier, well-done bacon. And the bacon here today is far from that. It's quite chewy, almost to the point of being under, but it is fully cooked through. The fat has been rendered here, and you do have a bit of a smoky, salty flavor. But texture-wise, this is very much like a very thin jerky. I want much more crisp. That's more of a personal thing though, otherwise I think these are fine. Next up, eggs. If you watch the channel long enough, you know I'm a sucker for over medium eggs. And I do see a nice thick runny yolk here. That's already a good sign. Let's see how the rest is. Oh yeah, that's good. Nice and prepared over medium egg here. A bit of a buttery flavor to these eggs. The whites have been nicely cooked through, and that yolk is thick and runny. These eggs do come unseasoned, so you can season the taste at your table. But honestly, this buttery flavor is doing well for me. Some nice eggs today. Next up, ham slice. The third breakfast meat that you get here is the full slice of ham, cooked on top of the griddle. Let's see how it is. Oh, that's pretty good. I'm actually enjoying the ham today. At my old Denny's, this was the protein I enjoyed the least, but they prepared it very well here. Not exactly super tender, but it is soft ham, and ever so slightly on the chewy side, but still a good cook on this. You definitely pick up a little bit of the smoky flavors coming from that griddle, but more so than Denny's ham I've experienced in the past, there's a bit of a sweetness that comes in the middle of the bite, which is then rounded out by a salty pork flavor. It's much more than I was expecting today. I think the ham is actually my favorite breakfast meat on the platter here. That's some nice ham, I enjoyed that. Next up, hash browns. Now I'm a huge fan of hash browns, and I always ask for them extra crispy here at Denny's, and they did a good job here from the looks of it. Let's give it a try.
Yeah, if we do this again, we'll do what I said. I'll just get the simple breakfast.
Oh yeah, that's good. Really well-made hash browns today. I asked for these to be extra crispy, and they absolutely nailed it. A perfect amount of time on that flat top has really led to some satisfying crunch here. Otherwise, the hash brown potatoes here are quite tender, and it does taste great given that it's very well seasoned. A nice amount of salt and pepper here that you actually really taste that potato. And these have been cooked in a fair amount of oil and butter. There's a nice richness to these hash browns. Definitely enjoying these today. Kudos to the chef. Those are the hash browns I love. Next up, white toast. There's definitely a lot of butter on this toast just from the look of it. Let's give it a taste. Yeah, that's fine. Very classic, thinly sliced white bread here. Now, the looks were not deceiving. It was quite buttery. They applied their amount of butter onto this bread. In fact, the amount of butter actually makes it a little bit soggy. There's absolutely no crisp to the exterior of this bread. It is fairly flimsy. I would prefer a little bit more texture to this. But otherwise, you do get that sweetness from the white bread as well as that buttery flavor. But I'm definitely a texture person, so this is a little bit flat for me. Perfectly acceptable white bread, though. All right, everyone, now the last bite to try for my breakfast today is going to be the pancakes. You get a short stack of 2 pancakes here, and I've spread some of that butter around as well as applied this maple syrup. Pancake time. Yeah, it's good. Now, these are exactly the pancakes that I remember from decades ago. They certainly didn't change the recipe, and these have been nicely prepared. Soft, fluffy pancakes do have a nice natural sweetness to them already, a slightly nutty flavor. These are just fine. Not too dense in the center either. I actually really like to cook on these. All around, these are actually very enjoyable. A nice richness coming from that butter, as well as a woodsy sweetness coming from that maple syrup. Classic pancake flavors here. I really like the pancakes today. That was good. All right, everyone, now that's everything I'm going to be taste testing here at Denny's for breakfast today. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy the rest of my morning, hit up my day job, and later on tonight, I'll be back where I'm going to be showing you the final restaurant here at the Casino Royale. Don't go around, I'll be right back. All right, my friends, now I'm back here for dinner, and for dinner I'm here at the Outback Steakhouse. The Outback Steakhouse is the resident steakhouse here at the Casino Royale, and it's located on the 2nd floor. You can reach the entrance via both an elevator as well as a stairwell near the entrance of the casino. It's dimly lit, intimate with tables and booths for seating, as well as a full-service bar with nice dark stained wood tones. And just like the Denny's from earlier today, you do have a 2nd floor view of the Hard Rock Hotel currently in construction. And when they do finally finish that resort, this will create for a very nice view, adding to the vibes. Regardless of the vibes, you know, it's all about the food for me. Let's take a look at what they have to eat on the menu. Okie dokie, so here is your menu at the Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. Oh boy, it's been a really long time since I've been back to an Outback. Let's see what they got. So they have some no regret Ritas, so your margaritas up here. Looks like about $15 or so. Some signature cocktails as well, all under that $15 mark. And some additional cocktails here as well. Yeah, all of the drinks are looking to be just about 13 to 15 bucks. Taking a look at the food. Now here's what I do remember from Outback Steakhouse, the original Bloomin' Onion. I mean, this appetizer made its way onto a lot of different menus. I remember when Chili's had the, what was it called? The the Awesome Blossom, I think it was called, something like that. But yeah, the original bloomin' onion here. And the other appetizers, cheese fries, wings, French onion soup, baked potato soup. All looking really tasty. Flip the page. Okay, so here are the steaks. And it looks like we have prime cuts up top. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that they had prime cuts at Outback. I thought they were strictly a choice steak restaurant. And I believe that's what these are. You've got a filet mignon, sirloin, ribeye. They also have prime rib. I did not know they had prime rib at Outback, so that's cool. Some additional bone-in specialty steaks here. The porterhouse, the bone-in ribeye, as well as that bone-in New York strip. And various different toppings and enhancements here. Garlic butter, chimichurri, and the like. All looking really good. That's good, thank you. Moving on to the next page here, you got steak combos. Looks like mostly sirloins here with choices of various seafood and chicken. Looks like there's a ribeye and chicken as well, or a ribeye and shrimp rather. And then your potatoes and sides, your steakhouse potatoes there. Various classic sides as well as premium sides on the right. Very nice. And here are some additional entrees, chicken dishes, ribs, looking good. And then you have some seafood here as well. Looks like a grilled shrimp on the Barbie. I think everyone kind of knows that particular phrase. Lobster tails, salmon, looking good. We also have some sandwiches and burgers here. Yeah, Outback burger, prime rib sandwich, chicken sandwich, looking good. You have some big bowl salads here. Cobb, Caesar, and a steakhouse salad. And then just a couple of additional things on the back here. Here you have your beers, as well as your bottles and wines. Your booze-free beverages. Looks like they serve Coke products here, which I'm a huge fan of. And then your desserts down here as well. A brownie cake, chocolate thunder from down under. That's the one pictured here. This is all looking really good. And that's your menu here at the Outback. Oh man, it's been a really long time since I've been to Outback Steakhouse, and I'm looking forward to trying out some dinner tonight. I'm gonna order some appetizers, and I'm gonna make those appear for you all right now. All right, everyone, now my appetizers got here. This is looking pretty good. Let me give you a view. I went in on a cup of their baked potato soup, as well as that iconic blooming onion. These are actually smelling really good. I'm excited to give them a try. I'm gonna kick things off with the baked potato soup. Now, I've had baked potato soups, though not the one at the Outback Steakhouse, and this is the flavor I typically enjoy. Hopefully it's good here. Let's give it a try. Oh, it's pretty good. This is a tasty potato soup. The soup itself is very creamy, very buttery, and quite thick. This is much more like a chowder than it is a soup. Even without the chunks of potato in the bite, you can actually taste the potato flavors in that soup. In addition to being well seasoned, the base of this potato soup is good. A nice smoky salinity coming from some bacon bits, and just a little bit of bite coming from the green onion. A nice salty flavor coming from the cheese as well. All of those accent flavors work great. The potatoes in here are very nice. Fork tender, quite soft. They've been cooked down well, but they still retain their nice starchy flavors. I am finding the bites to be a bit on the heavy side, to be frank with you. An entire bowl of this might put you to sleep, but in general, I would say the flavors are pretty solid. Nice little potato soup right here. Next up, the blooming onion. I must admit, it's been a really long time since I've had anything like this recipe, though I did used to love it. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a dip here into the sauce, and we give it a taste. Oh yeah, that's actually tasty. Now maybe I did have some rose-tinted glasses. These are not exactly as good as I remember, but that said, I actually am enjoying these. Now first, to talk about the batter, it's the best part. Nice and crispy, there's a great fry to these, and oddly enough, it doesn't actually feel all that heavy, and I definitely appreciate that. In general, these are well seasoned, but there is a smoky, slightly spicy, and savory seasoning blend here, and that's where the flavors shine. And once you're through with the batter, you absolutely get the nice, sweet, natural flavors of that onion. These are pretty good, even on their own. Now, the sauce here is actually really addicting. Given the color, you might expect this to be some kind of a chipotle mayonnaise, but I would say it's a lot closer to something like a horseradish mayonnaise. Very creamy and very rich. The sauce actually has a really nice kick to it. That slightly spicy horseradish flavor is really doing work, and in conjunction with the smoky seasoning blend in the bloomin' onions themselves, this comes together as a very flavorful bite. I am finding it hard to stop going in on these. I should probably chill out though, because I'm pretty sure I saw that the menu said this was 1,900 calories. And so those are some appetizers I'm going to be trying. I'm going to continue working on this, and I also got my steak order in. For all of you at home, I'm going to make that appear right now as well. Now here's something I didn't know. Before your steak arrives, you're actually able to go in on some complimentary bread, and so it just got here. I went ahead and split this loaf in half and applied some butter. And I gotta say, I actually really appreciate the fact that I'm getting bread service along with my steak today. Bread and butter can't go wrong, right? Let's give it a shot. Yeah, it's pretty good. Now you have a very soft wheat-based roll here. The dark brown color certainly matches the earthy flavors that you get out of this bread. It's soft all the way throughout, not too much crisp on the exterior, and a soft and pillowy bread center. Butter and bread certainly go well. Nice richness added here. A nice little bread service here. I'm very pleased with the bread service here at the Outback. Very happy with that one. All right, everyone, now my steak dinner just got here, and this is their ribeye. Not their prime cut, just their standard cut here. I chose mashed potatoes and broccoli for my sides here, and I'm certainly looking forward to my steak dinner tonight. Let's do this. First off, the steak. I asked for my steak prepared medium rare. It looks a little bit closer to medium, but that's not bad. Nice little ribeye steak here. Let's give it a shot. Oh, you know, that's pretty good. Now, having had a lot of prime beef making YouTube videos, I can definitely tell that this is a choice quality steak, but all said, it's actually quite decent. First off, this beef is incredibly tender. I was really not expecting this texture, though slightly on the chewy side. I was expecting just a lot less from the texture of the steak. The steak is relatively well marbled. There's a fair amount of fat content in here. The flavor of the beef itself is pretty good. A relatively robust beef flavor here. I think with the quality of beef cut they had, they did a magnificent job. They've developed a nice little crust here on the exterior, setting some of that Maillard reaction to provide a bit of a smoky flavor. Speaking of smoky flavors, this is a well-seasoned steak. If I had to take a guess, salt, pepper, garlic, onion, paprika, cayenne pepper, and maybe celery salt or coriander, something like that. It's a good blend of spices, a bit smoky, not spicy, though a little bit of heat, but in general it does enhance the flavor of the steak very well. Been a while since I've been to Outback, but I was actually quite happy with the steak today. Next up, I'll go in on the two sides, starting with the mashed potatoes. All of their steaks do come along with a potato side. I believe I saw mashed potatoes, french fries, and baked potato on the list. I went with the mashed here. Let's give it a shot. And well, not bad. A pretty straightforward mashed potato recipe here. Not the smoothest mashed potatoes, they went with a little bit more of a rustic preparation. Small chunks of potato as well as potato skin are in this mash. And typically when it comes to my mashed potatoes, I do prefer much more of a rustic preparation. That starchy potato taste is absolutely front and center here. None of that potato flavor is lost. Now I will say personally, I think these mashed potatoes could use a little bit of additional seasoning, perhaps some butter. There's a distinct lack of richness and it's just a little bit on the bland side. Oddly enough, the slightly bland potatoes go pretty well with this flavorful steak though. Although personally, I think I'd still prefer some salt and butter in this one. All right, everyone, now the last bite that I'm trying tonight is gonna be their seasonal vegetable side. Today, it's the broccoli. I do like the nice vibrant green color to this. And given all the rich foods that I've tried over the last 2 days, some veggies actually sound pretty good. Broccoli time. Yeah, it's pretty good. A relatively well-prepared broccoli here. The broccoli is fresh, no off-putting flavors here. And it has been very lightly seasoned. Just a little bit of salt goes a long way when it comes to broccoli like this. Now, unfortunately, I'm not the biggest fan of the cook on these. They went a little bit over. While it is fork tender and soft in the center, unfortunately, the same could be said about the exterior. And for me personally, I prefer just a little bit of snap when it comes to the exterior of my broccoli. All said though, this does taste healthy and it feels good going down. Still a passable vegetable side today. All right, everyone, now that's going to do it for all of the restaurants here at the Casino Royale at the middle of the strip in Las Vegas. Though the Casino Royale is best known for their $3.49 footlong hot dog, you do have a lot of other cheap eats options here. And of course, you have that 24-hour Denny's, America's favorite diner. And despite the fact that I've eaten so much Denny's in my life, American diner food like that is always approachable. Now it's been almost 2 decades since I've been back to the Outback Steakhouse. And while my recollection of the food quality here was low, I was pleasantly surprised today. That choice steak was much better than I expected, and the bloomin' onion was still a very tasty appetizer. If you're staying at the Best Western Casino Royale or you're interested in coming through for some of these eats, hopefully this video was informative for you. All right, everyone, now that's going to do it for this week's video. I'm continuing my quest to vlog every restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip as well as downtown on Fremont Street. Make sure to return next Saturday as I continue to add to my collection. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic week, and I hope you enjoy Vegas with me, Shin. Bye.